Captain America may be back in the MCU, and it could be Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers once more. But the woke are not happy, and it's no joke. They're angry, they're mad, because they think that Mackey is going to be made sad by this change at the MCU. Going back to the iconic stars and stripes of Captain America? Not allowed, but the MCU may be doing it anyway. We've got the details, and some of them juicy, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to have you here on the Pro Channel, where we are always grateful each and every time you spend time with us. Folks, click that like button, and we're going to get underway today talking to you about Captain America and how Marvel at large is having to go back to the icons, the heroes that people know, because Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, they're all sick. And Phase 1 through 3 is where people want to be, even Marvel. And there's a little video game called Marvel Rivals that may be putting pressure on Kevin Feige as well. We'll tell you about it right now. All right, folks, let's talk about the, not Nintendo, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they are trying to recapture the magic of Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. And they are deciding, apparently, that it's going to take a return to those original actors to do it. Here's what we've got. This is by Jordan Gerblick. It's out of Games Radar. It says, Captain America star Chris Evans reportedly joins RDJ in MCU return for Avengers Doomsday. But it is not clear who he's playing. When you purchase... No, that's not part of the... That's funny. Started to read that as if it's part of the article. It's not. Here we go. Chris Evans is reportedly returning to the MCU for Avengers Doomsday. Per the rap, Evans, who famously played the Steve Rogers Captain America from his MCU introduction in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger, all the way to 2019 Endgame, will have an undisclosed role in, I'll do it again, Doomsday. The extent of the role isn't clear, so it could be anything from a minor cameo to a starring role. We do not believe it's a starring role, by the way. Deadline also reports that Anthony Mackey, the actor playing the current Sam Wilson iteration of Captain America, is also returning. Of course, Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr. made waves when he revealed himself as villain Dr. Doom at San Diego Comic-Con back in July, and none of us, not for a second, believes he'll play Dr. Doom the whole way through, because why would he return to lose, which is what the villain will do? He's going to come back and at some point switch over to playing Tony Stark again. A multiverse variation, you betcha. But this is driving the wokies mad. Take a look at this out of comic book. It's by Madeline Lapreciosa. And we don't know if Madeline is woke or not, but we're using this as the example. Chris Evans should not bring back Captain America. Not Marvel. Chris Evans himself. Pressure on, Chris. Don't do it. Here's why. Chris Evans made his MCU debut in 2011's Captain America: First Avenger, played it for 10 more films. But he should never come back. And why? Evans' reported return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2026's Doomsday has fans wondering, that means the author, if the star will again portray Steve Rogers, Captain America, a scenario that threatens to undermine the significance of the character's ending should Marvel Studios opt for his revival.
Yeah, nobody's worried about that. People just want Captain America back.
Well, not this person and not the wokies. We'll explain why in just a moment. The anticipated return of Evans in the MCU follows his brief appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine. Though the prospect of seeing Evans suit up in his star-spangled suit again may excite some Marvel fanatics, the idea could derail the MCU's next big event. Well, why? After leading the Avengers in the battle against Thanos, Steve chooses to make up for lost time by reuniting with the love of his life, who he had watched die while he hadn't aged a day. Steve faces the unimaginable challenge of adapting to modern life after spending decades frozen in time against his will. If Marvel Studios decides to bring Steve back to the MCU, even as a variant, the decision will undermine what was a fitting ending for the beloved superhero. At this point, it would be best to leave Steve's story where it finished. But that's not really where we're going, because this is the real thing they want you to know. In addition, the MCU has already found its new Captain America in Anthony Mackey's Sam Wilson. So stay away, you stinky Chris Evans. You stay away. Don't you dare come back. Who will headline his first solo film in February's Captain America: Brave New World, which Disney is now desperately worried about. Although Mackey's involvement in Avengers Doomsday is still unconfirmed, his character's trajectory poises him to play an integral role in the future of Earth's mightiest heroes against the threat of Dr. Doom. Thus, Evans' presence as the former Captain America could overshadow. Folks, here's what they're worried about. Evan's presence as the former Captain America could overshadow Sam's ascendance to the revered mantle. Oh my Lord, it's the mantle strategy. Following years of buildup.
Years of buildup?
Terrified. Marvin, go. Run with it.
I'm just absolutely, nobody wants this. Nobody wants it. This movie is going to bomb out spectacularly. They've had to do 4 different reshoots because test screenings have been so abysmal. At some point, we have to we have to admit when we have failed and move back to what actually makes money. And I knew this was going to happen the second I heard about this. I was like, they're all going to scream and cry because of Sam Wilson. And we've got a story on that Park Place on this also right now, where we actually talk about some rumors that we've been hearing through the rumor mill, through TPP, that Anthony Mackey is none too happy about this occurrence. That he is.
All right, tell us why, Marvin. Why is he unhappy?
Well, apparently, this is not yet official. Chris Evans, according to rumors, has not yet put pen to paper, and they're saying this coming out just 2 months before that movie comes out is going to take away some of their thunder for February 14th.
Yeah, there's a lot, and you guys need to be checking out the article from that Park Place. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that is both because of this and just generally affected by this. Chris Evans was not supposed to be coming back. There were, in fact, I've heard rumors of negotiations to recast Steve Rogers. Whether or not that was a variant, I don't know. But someone else was in talks, according to the same source that was pushing towards this idea. Heard wind that Chris Evans was getting back in shape. And here we are today. Now, this news is breaking. I want to say that this was not Disney that broke this story to the trades here. So this is not part of Disney's marketing plan. And again, pen is not to paper on this one. There are other things down the line that we're hearing about right now, that the Sony news is actually linked to Evans coming back. There was more that was on the table at that point. I don't want to go too crazy and blow the entire situation here, but Evans has got a lot going on in his personal life, and I think that the need for money might be at play here.
Yeah,
he appears to be burning some bridges all over the place.
Yeah,
he hasn't had many wins outside of playing Captain America, and Marvel has not won having anyone else play Captain America. And by the way, Marvel Rivals, the game that's come out from NetEase, that it's one of the biggest games on the planet right now. Everybody's playing it. It goes back to using the characters that people know in their iconic, symbolic forms, and it's working. And you've just got to know that Kevin Feige is looking at it and saying, listen, we have a game right now that we have licensed our characters, and it's the characters from the Avengers with their iconic Avengers MCU skins, and that is dominating the entire market.
Yep.
Wouldn't we like to do that again at the box office?
Yep.
You would think.
This is something where I when it comes down to it, and I really don't want a Marvel animated universe, but if you're going to keep the same names in the role forever and ever, this should have been animated. If you want this to be the comics, then it should have been animated. You should have done something where you can continue doing this over and over again.
Or just
advocating for that idea.
Just recast. I mean, James Bond and Batman showed us that people are willing to accept a recast as long as it's good. They want to see the same character. They want to see James Bond. They don't want to see him pass the mantle on to somebody else and have it not be James Bond.
And looking at this, they've made Anthony Mackie in this role into something where it is only a racial issue. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was all about politics, and not in any way that, okay, and I said this on Morning Magic today, the difference between a Captain America story where they talk about the government trying to protect people but also ultimately seizing control, that is something that everyone has an opinion, and very few people are taking the pro-government side, and whether or not Project Insight was a good thing. There were themes in that were perfect. But when you look at this one, that character right there is Sabra. She's an Israeli agent. You have a Captain America that they're trying to put race stuff on top of it. This is something where People are confused by what the Falcon's power set is because of the way all of this is handled. It just comes out as a muddled mess, and people don't want to be preached to. They want to show up, and they want to have Anthony Mackie's back. They want to be the kind of guy that maybe this is a crazy idea, but the kind of guy that Sam Wilson's not available that day. I'm going to put on the suit. I'm going to back him up here. This is not the kind of thing where someone says, you know what, I want to show up and I want to have awkward arguments over Thanksgiving about the plot of a Marvel movie. This is. I'm sorry. I'm trying to articulate this in a way that is not dismissive of somebody who I actually like. I like Mackey, and I think it is. I'm not a fan of Chris Evans based off some of the things that I'm hearing here. He represents a character that he obviously disdains. I think that Evans is on the woke side of things. So when Captain America comes back and they want to change things a little bit, I worry that we're going to get Hydra Cap. I worry that we're going to get a fascist version of Cap that can own the cons, as it
maybe
were.
teaming up with Robert Downey Jr. Doom, and then they're the villains of the movie. Yeah, that could happen.
That's where I think they're going with it. That's exactly why I think they're bringing him back. They're going to push that character in, which has never worked and is not a good character, and it's going to really make everybody
Derek, explain that to the audience who might not know the story there.
I mean, it's just a fascist version of Captain America, basically. Captain Hydra or Hydra Cap. They've called him a lot of different names. It's just a fascist version of Captain America. In an alternate.
They do that, Eric. They are dumber than even I believe they are. Like if they bring Chris Evans back to play basically what they envision Orange Man to be, but as Captain America, like they are the dumbest people I have ever encountered. If they do that,
I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's the thought process behind bringing him back, because why would you bring him back other than to have him play a variant of himself? And since Robert Downey Jr. is already playing Dr. Doom, all right, let's go ahead and bring him back. Let's have him play, a fascist, like you said, Orange Man bad Captain America, and then we'll play that out, and that's the movie. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be bad. The
political optics of that would be disastrous for Disney right now,
especially considering the results of this past election. So I think you're going to really, I don't know if Marvel's going to do it now. I think they have an idea of what they want to do, and maybe they're going to start to shift courses. Doomsday's still a couple of years out, so they have time to fix this. But
Doomsday is supposed to come out. Doomsday is supposed to come out in 2026, isn't it? That's literally almost next year at this point in time. It's not that.
And then,
you're right.
And because Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be coming out right after that, we're seeing strong indications that the Marvel characters from Doomsday are going to be appearing in Spider-Man 4. So probably Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Spider-Man 4 yet again. So any hope that people had that those films were going to be telling Spider-Man stories, goodbye. No, go and
are you saying Kraven is not in Spider-Man 4? I mean, I thought Kraven the Hunter is coming out.
I don't even know what the Kraven movie is going to be about. But if they had a Kraven Spider-Man story and they actually had Kraven. If they had Kraven facing off against Spider-Man and it was well written, by the way, having a jacked British white dude playing Kraven the Hunter, somebody who, in my mind, looks a lot like Quicksilver, not interested. I want a Kraven that seems foreign and intimidating.
You know what? Spider-Man 2, the video game Spider-Man 2 did not do much right. But the one thing I thought they did right was they had a terrifying Kraven the Hunter.
Well,
he was huge.
Okay, but let me put it this way. This guy has amazing abs, so the ladies are going to be okay with seeing this film.
I hope that we get Plant Man
for a moment, and forgive me for taking over your show here, Pro, but there is a Sony element to this story here.
I want Sony to give us Plant Man. He's never made an appearance. He's the greatest villain in all of Spider-Man's history. Plant Man. Put him up there.
They just shut it down. Sony just said no thank you to any more of this. They're done.
That news and the Evans news are related, as I'm hearing right now. And this is very much rumor and speculation.
All right, tell us what you've got, Jonas. What's your exclusive here? What have you sleuthed out into the world?
All right. So Sony and the MCU apparently were in some kind of talks to link together these two universes, and then Secret Wars was going to be a soft reboot of everything. And they were trying to work out some kind of deal, and who knows how long it would have lasted, but there would have been a merging of the two universes in a more realistic sense. So now we're hearing from people like Daniel Rickman that Kraven is definitely the end of the non-Spider-Man Sony films at this point, and that comes right on the heels of the Captain America Chris Evans announcement. So there's a lot of things that I'm getting a lot more confirmation from this source that has been sending me information for a while, and I wasn't able to verify much of it, but I'm much more confident now today in putting this out here. Whatever was going on at Sony is now the MCU is confident in whatever they were doing after this point. They need Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 4, it really sounds like that's going to be very strongly linked to the MCU. I think they're not worried about your Madam Webs and your Kraven the Hunters and your Morbiuses and things like that, which those have all been colossal failures at the box office. So I think Spider-Man, unfortunately, is going to be the casualty here. We won't get a true Spider-Man story. Instead of what Tony Stark Won't Call Me, otherwise known as Spider-Man 1. Tony Stark Left Me Some Glasses there with Spider-Man 2. And Doctor Strange showed up to help me deal with the fallout from Spider-Man 2. So I just think this whole situation here, there are so much in flux right now. They're trying to fix so many things that are already in motion. I don't know if they are fixing everything, but it's definitely not going to be with this film that we have up on the screen right now.
True that. You know, it would have been better if he was going to become Captain America, then Falcon should have become Eagle. I don't know. Just me.
Oh, no. See, you've misunderstood now. And if Chris Evans shows up in this film, which was already something we were speculating about anyways, because $20 million towards, and it won't be $20 million, but $20 million to get Chris Evans to do a cameo in this film is better marketing than $20 million of ad spend in some magazine somewhere. So if he does show up in this, you'll have two characters that are named Captain America, one of them with the name Captain America and the Falcon, and two characters named the Falcon in this film, because Joaquin, what's his name, is also the Falcon in this one. So, you know, this is the MCU getting into its dork age here. There's also a comment from Anthony Mackey where he offhandedly said that the Green Hulk was going to be in this movie. So you're going to have two Hulks here. At least Red Hulk is very clearly the Red Hulk. This looks like a mess. And they also, and if we're throwing this in here, it sounds like the MCU also has at least 3 Trump characters. So whatever. Guys,
they're not obsessed.
Get your house in order. Reboot this all, or stop trying to pin the entire success of a Disney brand off of these movies.
And folks, if you want to see real Marvel these days, go download Marvel Rivals. I hate that a Chinese company has to make the Marvel that we love, but that's where we are today. Marvel Rivals is free. You can download it for free. You can play it for free. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I think if you enjoyed Overwatch at all, you're going to love Marvel Rivals. And the way that we convince Marvel to go back to what they should be doing and getting rid of their TDS is by downloading and loving the things that other companies are doing with the Marvel license and saying, yeah, that's how you go back to winning Marvel. And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.